Ooh, Lord, what's up, people? It's your boy Beast Gamer Kuma, and I am quite tired. Had a lovely night of Dungeons and Dragons. Definitely go follow my boy Chris Mander 4 to check out his streams, and especially Fridays when we play Dungeons and Dragons live. Little shameless plug, but let's get into this. So it's gonna be a short weekend report. There's a lot of things that happened this week, but I only touch base on a certain few things. But the biggest thing was the Street Fighter 6 showcase, what gave us a whole glimpse of the new World Tour mode, a playable demo. This was hosted by Lil Wayne, giving us a look at the DLC that's going to be happening, Season Pass. And honestly, I'm so happy they came out with the demo because the World Tour mode was freaking awesome. And the best thing about it is that you'll be able to transfer your creative character to the main game when that releases on June 2nd. World Tour mode is something that I always wanted for Street Fighter ever since Street Fighter Alpha 3 had that World Tour mode where you pick a character, level them up like an RPG, and you get to the final boss and everything like that. It was pretty intuitive, but now this goes up to another level where it feels like a beat 'em up slash RPG, like Tobal, if you ever remember that game. I did a post about that a long time ago, but yeah, going around, you can fight anybody depending on their level and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a fight anybody type situation. Walking around Mega City, and you're gonna have to face off against enemies and stuff like that. It was like you get to dip your toe into the demo of World Tour mode. And it wasn't too intuitive, which is good because you don't want to give up too much. But then you got the regular extreme mode and regular 1v1 where you got then we let you use two characters, which is Luke and Ryu, but it's okay. It gives you some practice, give you some ideas. I'm going to have to up the levels soon because I only went up to level 5 because I'm dipping my toe in back into Street Fighter because I'm not really that great at Street Fighter except for part 4, but part 5 I was like, But yeah, I'm going to get my toe back into that. So it's going to be fun in a bun, and I can't wait for the final release to come out, and it's going to be glorious. Expect a lot of videos for that. Speaking of which, yeah, boy is changing up some things where I'm not going to be using my WordPress website anymore. I'm going to be using my Patreon website, which is also free to check out, and of course, videos here as well. I'm going to get that out the way just to give you a heads up. So, as there are going to be 3 tiers for that, a $1, $5, and $10 tier, which good incentives. But yeah, I'll just give you a heads up on things that are changing because the WordPress site too expensive right now. And I'm still debating on if I'm going to pay to keep it because I do like having my own personal email address and everything like that. But we'll see what happens with that. But moving forward, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak had an update this week. Honestly, we got new monsters. They really kicking it up a notch because honestly, I was playing Wild Hearts for a minute. I mean, originally, I've been on Monster Hunter religiously for a long time. Wild Hearts was just a new thing to try out. Just like Dauntless at the time, but this time Wild Hearts is actually a good contender. But you got to come back to the OG. So Sunbreak reveals the Approaching Storm update number 5, which was a free update. And this new monster, oh my Jesus Christ, it is so glorious and beautiful, and with tornadoes all over the place. And I didn't win yet, so I'm gonna try to get on later on today to tackle this beast of a monster. It's actually kind of cool getting back into Monster Hunter again. But the new update was freaking glorious. You got some paid items, which is not too bad because honestly, the amount of free stuff that Capcom gives you in Monster Hunter is amazing. So it doesn't feel that bad when you have to pay in-game content for stuff. It's mostly vanities and things of that nature, emotes for your character. But yeah, this new monster is freaking crazy, and it feels like a raid boss. And it gave us a new, extra extended storyline where you actually get to see the face of one of the wyverns that had to come. And I was like, damn, this is actually pretty good. And I took on the risen versions of characters, especially Volcana and not Valstrix. Was it Valstrix? No, it wasn't Valstrix. I can't remember the name of the monster. But the risen forms, creepy. They're going to up the level of damage and boss level fights with these risen monsters. It's worse than Afflicted, it seems like. And even they upgraded the Afflicted monsters as well, where they're going to have more range attacks. And I'm not looking forward to fighting Afflicted Rajang at all. Just putting it out there. And I'm getting tired of this news. I'm really so. Okay, so the topic is early access games, betas, and whatnot. Right now, Disney Speedstorm just released. And the whole time they was talking about it before the release, it was going to be a free-to-play kart racing game, which we also have one on Steam. But, you know, this is Disney, so you know how Disney heads are. If it's Disney, forget about it. And luckily, there was a 2-hour game trial on PSN. But my problem was that if it was a free-to-play game, why are we still doing this BS of early access? Because you're promoting free-to-play, but when it comes out, it's not free-to-play. You got founders packs if you want to play the game. Or, like I said, the 2-hour game trial on PSN. But I was just like, I played it. It plays well. The characters are pretty cool. I was kind of confused because I also saw my friend Mike play on live stream. You should check out his channel too. I'll put his link in it below. But he was playing live and he was talking about it. Like I said, it looks fun. The weapons, the racing, find your own route kind of deal, where either you go a route that has more boost or you go to a route that's like shortcuts. The weapons, I'm still trying to learn as well. You get a nice shield, you get a shuriken, it seems like, but it seems like that the power of the racing depends on the character that you pick. Because he was talking about in a rank match that it was nothing but Mike Wazowski's or Sully's racing in a rank match. So I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, shouldn't it be with the cards itself, not with the characters? But I'm gonna look more into that. But my main problem is this whole idea of hiding behind a weird paywall when you have early access, or you got people paying for founders packs to play a game. There's a lot of microtransactions in this game, and honestly, feels like it was supposed to be meant for kids, and that's a lot. It's a lot going on with paywalls, and I'm thinking about parents, I guess, in a case where they have to pay for certain items, card slots, card skins. But this is Disney. They did the same thing to Dreamlight Valley, which came out last year, and it was supposed to be, I think it's still in early access. It hasn't fully released yet, which is definitely questionable. It's the same thing that happened with Multiverse, but that was a whole different situation where it was in beta that whole time, but people was paying for stuff. And then they closed it out, so now people can't really play it right now. It's just weird, janky stuff like that. If you're gonna have free-to-play games, just release free-to-play. Or if you're gonna do these founder packs, just release the game as a regular AAA title. I mean, Disney got the backing to do so. I don't see the reason to have a kart racing game to go with all these microtransactions. I feel like it could have been strong enough to do its own kart thing, like Mario Kart, and you know, Crash Team Racing did something weird when they came back like that too with the microtransactions up the wazoo. So those business practices always are questionable to me, and I really don't like them too much. But that's just me. If you're playing, I want to hear your thoughts on that subject of the Speedstorm game. How do you like it? What do you don't like about it? Let's discuss that. In retro gaming news, so I ended up getting Fightcade 2, and because I heard about all the fantastic things to do online multiplayer and playing beat 'em up games, fighting games, even Dreamcast games, stuff like that. And I tried out Cadillacs and Dinosaurs fully because as a kid, I didn't know this arcade game was out. And that kind of made me mad, but I'm glad as an older gamer adult, I get to retry these games out. And I felt like if it was my younger self, I would have loved the mess out of these games. And also gave me that feel of nostalgia when I missed the days of sandwich shops and pizza shops that had arcades. So you could just go into a pizza sandwich shop, and while you wait for your food, you're just popping in some quarters, playing the game, and interacting with certain people. Sit down, have your meal, go back onto the game. And it's kind of funny because when I also thought about it, and it segued to many other thoughts, how video games cost back then versus now, where we have more set prices. Because back then, video game prices were all over the place. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 was $89.99. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was $70. And mind you, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was a 3.5-hour game if you're going for 100% completion, or just regular 3 hours. And that made me thought about the games versus now that people complain about, where we got mostly 8 to 200 hours plus with these $70 games now, or $60 games before the next gen consoles came out. bang for our buck now versus back then, because Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, when I initially beat it on my computer, the gameplay hours, it wasn't even an hour. It was like 56 minutes to complete the game. And that was because I had many continues as well. And I'm thinking about every time I had a continue, I put in a quarter, and it made me think about how much I spent on this game if I wanted to beat it in that runtime. And I think I spent at least $7 to $8 on quarters for the continues. Because some of the boss fights are very unfair, but that's neither here nor there. That's how that's how you get paid in the arcade. But either way, an hour game, if this game came out on console, it would be up that price range. Would either be $60 to $70, depending. And I'm like, for an hour experience. But that's the only thing that's also something you got to think about. Was the experience fun? And I had a great time. So I wouldn't mind that, especially with certain games right now. Yeah, some games that come out now, the experience is not as fun, or it's too boring or repetitive, being for that much. But we do get more hours on the game, so it still goes down to the bottom line of, was the experience fun to make it actually worth the price tag? Because even now, I'm actually surprised that Street Fighter 6 is going to come out at a regular price of $60 instead of the $70 price tag. Unless you get the deluxe edition or the collector's edition, stuff like that. But he's still coming out base price at $60. That's actually pretty boss. So yeah, it comes down to all the experience that you have. Was it worth your time? And I say yes. When I played the Shredder's Revenge, which has a lot of replay value, but it wasn't that expensive. I think it was a $40 game, $29.99, or free on Game Pass. I actually got it on sale for $20 because of some janky stuff early, especially on Nintendo Switch and the Steam. So yeah, was the experience fun? Was it worth more than $20? I think so. Because you had to replay with each character, level them up, go through the endings, and then there's arcade mode and stuff. It was worth the time I spent on it, and I got 100% on it. So yeah, $20 is fair, but would I pay $40 for it? Sure, why not? Cowabunga collection, but that was the main thing that kept me thinking about when I was playing these games, the experience. And next week I'll be playing Aliens vs. Predator, which will be my next Throwback Thursday review. But yeah, touch base on that. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that as well. The length of time of the game versus the experience. What actually makes it worth the price tag? Think on it. Nintendo Indie event that happened. I'm not gonna lie. The event was kind of meh to me until they showed the successor to Jet Set Radio. And I was freaking phenomenal. Oh my god. Is it Bomb Rush? Ooh, that game looks sick, nasty. And I thought it was just going to be, because when they first previewed it like 2 years ago, I didn't see skates on it, and I was kind of skeptical on it. It was going to just grind on their sneakers. But nah, there's inline skating, and this definitely looks like a spiritual successor to the game. Before I said predecessor, because that was the wrong term. But yeah, this is definitely a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. I would love for them to re-release Jet Set Radio Future though, because Jet Set Radio already got re-released on all consoles. And you can get it on either Steam, the PlayStation. But yeah, I would say re-release Jet Set Radio Future just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. But that game was definitely worth it. I still got my copy, by the way. But yeah, Bomb Rush looks freaking amazing. I can't wait to try that on Nintendo Switch. I hope they release a demo. That'll be freaking boss. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to try to get more details on more news for next week's segment. Right now, I'm just trying to get used to getting the segments that I'm going through right now, which was Peeking My Ear, which other people aren't really touching base on. But yeah, thank you all for the support. I hope y'all check out my Patreon page, which also is going to be in the link description below. Let's see how things get moving. We got a new game coming out next week, Jedi Survivor. Am I going to pick it up? Not sure. We had new release of Dead Island 2. I'm still on the fence about picking up that as well, but I know what I'm going to be working on in the meantime. I'm trying to keep everything more mainstream since I'm all into my racing games and fighting games. Expect to stick to that for a while. And of course, my Retro Thursdays. So get ready for all that to happen. And again, thank you for all the support. We're getting there. We are getting there. And it's going to be good. And I'm glad y'all joining me on this journey. But other than that, have a great weekend, and I'll see y'all next Saturday. Beast out.